day everyone, and welcome to a new segment that I'm putting on my blog. It's called Proud of Our Products. So over the next while on my blog you will find instructional videos on how to use the Stampin' Up! Products. So give me a chance to get set up and I'll be right back. Okay ladies, I'm back. So today, again as I told you, we're going to be working with the Stampin' Up! Sanding blocks. Now the blocks come in a 2 package. And they are on page 198 of the catalog, right here. And they're $4.50 for the 2 blocks, which I think is a really great value. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. I have an older block here. I've had it for a couple of years, and I've been using it in a lot of my techniques classes, but this really doesn't make any difference to it. So what I'm going to show you today is how I generally use the Stampin' Up! Block. Now, all of our stamps, as you know, there's 2 different types. This one would be a filled-in image, like that. And this one here would be what they call a line art image. This would be one like you'd have to color in. So these don't have to be sanded, but sometimes when these come in from the factory, they have a film on them and they won't pick up the proper amount of, oops, sorry about that, they won't pick up the proper amount of ink. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the largest one of the flower petals and I'm going to show you how this is going to be a little bit better. If you ink up this with, I'm using Marina Mist Blue, and we're just going to ink this whole thing up, and then we're just going to kind of pound on it a little bit. And then I'm going to take a piece of scrap cardstock. I know it's cut in the right sizes, but you know, I call it scrap. So I'm just going to make sure this is inked up. There's no lines on it. And I'm going to press down on this. Now you'll see that it misses some, although I did have, there are some holes in it, correct? So I'll stamp off onto some scrap paper that I've got over here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sanding block and I'm just going to give this a nice quick rub to get rid of some of the residue that comes from the factory. Now normally I'd clean this, but today I don't have my cleaner down here with me and I'm working at the kitchen table to give you a better view. It's a little bit more room for me. So I would just wipe that off and get rid of the residue that's on that. Then I would ink this up again. Make sure I got lots of ink on it. Okay. Press down and hold for a couple of seconds, lift up, and you can definitely see the difference. So this is one thing that you can do with the sanding blocks, and you will find that any of these images that have filled in rubber, that you will find that they will hold the color better, give you a better image, and make your project just that much better. So that's one use for the sanding blocks. The other use for the sanding block is, some of you are familiar with this, is chipboard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little piece of chipboard about the same width as this. And I'm just going to cut out around, give myself a bit of an edge there, out around. You don't have to be too careful because we're going to put it on, and then we're going to sand off the edges. So I'm just going to go all the way around that chipboard. There we go. Get rid of the garbage. Move my paper back so you can see properly. Add a little bit of glue to my chipboard just to hold it. And what I'm going to do is, I'm doing this now because I want to let it dry a little bit before we actually do the treatment on it. And I'm going to just lay this on like this, making sure that the whole board is covered. And I'm using the new vintage springtime paper. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side and let it dry a little bit. I'm going to bring in another piece of our designer paper. Now this is a retired piece. And what I've done is, I don't know, I guess you can pick it up. I've run it through the textured finial embossing folder to give it some texture. But I don't know if you realize it or not, but sandpaper on this, sanding block on this, takes off the top layer. So you could actually just kind of scrub off the top layer of the design like this. And you know how the vintage look is so in right now. So you just scrub off the top bit of paper, and because the core of this is white, as you see the difference, so this actually highlights and accentuates not only the pattern of the wallpaper, but it gives you that extra added dimension. So let's go back to our chipboard. Okay, we have the chipboard here. We have a sanding block which looks like it's been through the war, but this should be fairly glued on now. So what we're going to do is we're going to sand the edges, and you're just going to bring it like this and sand off the edges, and you're going to get rid of all of the excess cardstock, and this will make it look really nice to put as an element onto a card. Now it doesn't take very much effort, as you can see. Now you can go back and get rid of the paper that's on there. It's just a matter of giving it a little more of a on your card or scrapbook page. Isn't that lovely? So again, like I said, there's little pieces of paper here. You just keep scrubbing until you get them completely off, and it only takes a little more elbow grease. That's it for today. A couple of uses for the brand new sanding block. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.